I'm Cassandra Miller. I'm a classical music composer, and I was born and raised in Victoria in BC, and I've lived now in England for about 11 years. I moved here originally to do a PhD at the University of Huddersfield, and I've stayed. I grew up playing the harp, and I thought I would go to university to be a harpist. But in the first day, I took a music composition class with Christopher Butterfield, and I never looked back. I knew I was a composer from that day on. So I've known the Quatuor Bozzini for a long time, since 2009. I was involved in their, as a student, in their program that's called the Composer's Kitchen. And it was quite life-changing to me. And it coincided with right before I moved to Montreal. So I also then, while living in Montreal, became very close with them, including working in their office. So we have a very close relationship from that time, but I've also written them several pieces over the years. And it's that kind of relationship where I can't even tell anymore how much of my aesthetic is from them. I think an enormous part of it. They're part of me. Something about knowing people for so long is that we all change and grow during that time. And since I haven't lived in Canada for a while, it felt like time to get to know them again. And we've seen each other off and on, there was never a large pause, but it felt like time to know each other in a sort of new phase of life. So I went to visit in December, and I went, and I had just a lot of questions for them. And they were very open questions, like, do you have an interesting story in your life about dance? Or what was your favorite tune as a kid? And this one about what was your favorite tune as a kid created such a lovely conversation. And even in the middle of that conversation, they would occasionally spontaneously just sing for me. So it was a really beautiful time, and it really did feel like we were all getting to know each other again. And so the piece is really about that conversation. So I've chosen 3 pieces that came up in that conversation, 3 songs from their childhood, which it also became about the act of singing to a child, as some of them also sing to children, the songs that they heard as children. And there's this lovely thing, which is that Stephanie and Isabel, of course, are sisters, so they sometimes would have the same favorite tune. I work a lot with repetition, and I feel that repetition is kind of a topic for me in a really basic way that I almost find hard to describe. But when I'm taking something that has a kind of source material, a song that already exists, and then I'm trying to make it into something new, often I will do a lot of experiments by taking a small bit of it and repeating it. Often singing along to it as well, just so I can feel in my body what it feels like to repeat something that much. And I really enjoy, as a listener, what happens with repetition. There's so many things that can happen. You can really find that you go deeper and deeper into a sound, that something will be repeated many times exactly the same, and you hear it sort of more deeply each time, or it affects you more deeply each time. But also there's a kind of distance that can happen where you can find yourself, or I find myself sometimes getting bored or feeling a bit annoyed. And this is really beautiful, I think. So there's something about watching my own attention as something goes on, and experiencing something in new ways simply by it happening again and again. So what I wanted to say about Bridges is that I'm really excited that it's connected to this program that will have the 3 commissions on it, because actually when I first met the Bozzinis in 2009, that was a program very, very similar to what's going to be happening at Bridges, where myself and Zosha De Castri will be teaching with the Quatuor Bozzini. And I think the concert could really be quite extraordinary, because there's something about the students in an environment like that, which is that it's so exciting to see them at that stage. They could already be extraordinary composers, and then you have the delight of watching their career grow and change over the next 20 years. So it will be a really wonderful concert experience. And the other thing I wanted to mention is actually in 2009 in a composer's kitchen, that's when I met Taylor Brooke, who's one of the other composers that's been programmed or been commissioned as part of this project. And it was an amazing meeting. His idea of melody, his connection to melody has been a huge influence on me. So I'm so pleased to be in this project with both him and Zasha, who I admire greatly. It's a wonderful project.